All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the Rock and Roll Geezers Show, your weekly rock news outlet, if you will. I'm your host, Murph. And boy, we got a big show for you today. We got an unbelievable best 100 list we have to look into. A couple of real interesting lawsuits and weird stuff going on, and a really sad report over in the UK, festival wise, and little bit of Robbie Robertson, Alex Van Halen, Randy Bachman, Disturbed, all sorts of other good stuff going on this week. So thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Murph, and of course I can't do this without my co-host, Doc Fox. How you doing over there, Doc?
Doing quite well, sir. Quite well. Yeah, thanks for checking in, everybody. So glad that you did. Happy Memorial Day. Hope everybody's having a great day. It's a sunny, coolish kind of day out here in Chicagoland. But
Hmm.
yeah, I hope you're celebrating and remembering and remembering why we had the holiday. So just like every week, we have all the interesting news from stories of the rock world for you. And boy, we got a big old batch this week, man. We got all kinds of stuff. So,
Yes, we do.
yeah, to start off, you may have seen there's a new greatest albums list Apple Music put out, and it's causing a bit of a stir. And obviously, we got something to say about it.
Yeah. Oh boy, Apple greatest album of all times, correct? Of all times. I
Greatest
imagine
album
it's
of all time, yeah.
greatest album of all times. And boy, there's some key albums that come to mind. When you think about the 60s and 70s, especially, basically 50s, 60s, 70s birth of rock and roll. And boy, especially in the 70s, boy, we really had it made. And this, this list really it honors none of that. And the top 10, just wow, just blows my mind. And the number one, I don't even want to. I'll let you talk about it, Doc. I know you're really pissed about this one.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the album. Just as an art form, I listen to a lot of albums all the way through, kind of as the artist intended kind of thing, and can really appreciate a good album, a great album. And lists like these, yeah, you kind of take them with a grain of salt, but they're kind of interesting to refer to. Just maybe get some ideas, maybe some albums, maybe slip through your cracks a little bit you haven't heard of, and maybe give you some ideas what to check out. But we've always kind of had the same kind of albums. You're always kind of in the top 10. But man, now since the whole in with the old out with the or in with the new out with the old kind of mentality, man, they take it to new lengths on this one, man. So
Well, yeah,
well,
yeah. Let me just start out by saying one of the premier albums of all, basically of all time, I consider is Sergeant Pepper's. The glory, the magnificence of the songs, the writing, the presentation, the whole kit and
well, it
caboodle.
started the album as an art form, not just a collection of singles. It kind of they were kind of leaning into that with Rubber Soul and Revolver, but Sergeant Pepper was the pinnacle of that. And and we've always there's always been number one on a lot of lists, top
I mean,
three,
really,
top five minimum. Not even on the list, Murph.
not even top
Not
100.
even in the top 100. That's all you need to know about this list. So just to go through the
Yeah.
top 10 real quick. Number 10, Beyonce. Yeah, Lemonade. Number 9, Nirvana, Nevermind. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 8, Amy Winehouse, Back to Black.
Hmm.
Number 7, Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City. Number 6, Stevie Wonder, Songs in the Key of Life.
Okay, I understand that one. Sure.
Yeah, that's a great one. 5, Frank Ocean. Oh,
Who?
Frank Ocean. I don't know. Billy Ocean's kid. I don't know.
Frank
I have no
Ocean,
idea.
huh?
I don't know.
One of the best.
Blonde.
Well, we should know him, Doc, because he's got one of the
Got the
100
fifth
best
greatest
albums
album of all
ever
time.
of
Yeah.
all time.
Number 4, Prince, Purple Rain.
Yeah,
That's a
top
good
10.
album. I don't
Yeah,
even know this top
maybe
10. Yeah.
top 10, maybe out top 50 in.
Number 3, the Beatles. We got a Beatles album there. Abbey
Oh,
Road. Abbey Road is the one they give the nod to. Is the top Beatles album. That comes at number 3. Number 2 is Michael Jackson Thriller.
well, yeah,
Certainly the most popular, biggest selling, all
yeah,
that we know.
that should be on the top of anybody's
But
list for
knowing
sure.
that, knowing that top, 10 through 2. Number
Oh,
1,
yeah.
The
What could it be?
Miseducation of Lauryn Hill by Lauryn Hill.
The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill by
The
Lauryn Hill
number
is
one album of
of
all
all
time, Murph.
time.
Of all
Of all
time.
time. God bless. I
That's
wish I would have
changed
heard this.
lives. That's changed lives and influenced generations of artists and just everything you could imagine from a great album. But
What?
oh my God, oh my
What?
God.
Wow. Wow, boy, this is really nutso. Well, just the fact that Sergeant Pepper's isn't even on the list. That right there tells you it's a pile of crap. And really, where the hell's Hendrix's first
Yeah, he's on here somewhere, but yeah, just to kind of give you a couple other things of note that I checked. Well, first of all, the genre most represented in the list, hip hop, of
you're
course.
kidding. Hip
Of
hop.
course, it's only it's been around for
Oh,
30 years or whatever, so it should be the most dominant music form.
oh,
So yeah, that's the number one. So that kind of tells you where we're coming from right there.
wow.
Um, 2 punk albums, and there was only Patti Smith Horses and London Calling by the Clash. So no
No
Ramones,
Ramones?
no Ramones, no Stooges, no Sex Pistols. No, that album was just flash in the
Flash in the
pan.
pan, huh? Oh
It
my
didn't really
goodness.
amount to much.
Oh
No
my
Black
goodness.
Sabbath, no Black Sabbath, no Paul Simon. Like I said, no Sergeant Pepper. But here's what gets me: even country. Okay,
Yeah.
one country album.
One of
You
the
got to
old
think.
classic
So you got
country
to
bands?
think. Yeah, just Willie Nelson, Redheaded Stranger, Waylon Jennings, Honky
Waylon.
Tonk Heroes, or Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison. No.
Sure. No, Folsom Prison, yeah.
Casey Musgraves.
Who?
Casey Musgraves was the lone country representative
Wow.
on the list.
Well,
Um,
somebody's so wow.
so there was only a handful that had 2 albums, being the Beatles. That was Abbey Road and Revolver. You already mentioned no Sergeant Pepper, no
No,
Rubber
let it
Soul,
be.
no Let It Be, no White
Wow.
Album.
Wow.
2 Prince albums, 2 Stevie Wonder albums, 2 by Beyonce, and 2 by Radiohead. So that
Boy,
leaves
oh
us
boy, oh boy.
only one from Bob Dylan, only one.
One for
Only
what?
one for Pink Floyd,
Uh,
Dark Side of the Moon. Only
how
one.
about Bruce? Yeah, how about Bruce? Did you
Only
look into
one
Bruce?
Springsteen. Yeah, only one
Oh,
Springsteen. Only one Rolling Stones album. Exile on Main Street. So no Sticky Fingers, no
oh,
Beggar's Banquet, no Let It Bleed, no Some Girls, no nothing.
boy, oh
And
boy.
Zeppelin, they had one Zeppelin, which was Zeppelin 2, not even 4. Not even the masterpiece of 4.
Oh,
They put it as 2. So no Aerosmith, no Pearl Jam. The only real new wave, I suppose, they had the Cure Disintegration, which is a great album and worthy to be on there, but so are many others. But yeah, this joke, like I said, it comes from Apple Music, and they're headed up. They got a guy over there called Zane Lowe. I don't know if you're familiar with that. If viewers are familiar with this guy, he's kind of got that British accent that just makes you sound super intelligent. You know what I mean? No matter what you say, you know. And he does say a lot of crap, and he just yeah, real smug and real kind of pompous kind of guy. And
yeah.
so he's got to put this together, and he kind of look at some of the artists that they got their input on, and it's all like Charlie XCX, people like that. I
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
don't
never
care
mind.
about
Yeah.
her opinion. Yeah, don't. So I don't know.
And
This
up,
one of he's one of the kind of guys that'll tell you like how great the Beastie Boys are. You know what I mean? He's like one of those kind of guys. Which by the yeah,
oh,
they had
yeah.
one album on there. And by the way, since bringing up the Beastie Boys, "Fight for Your Right to Party." That's
Mhm.
really the only song people in the rock world know of the Beastie
Sure.
Boys.
Yeah.
And the best part of the song is the guitar.
Mhm.
The guitarist on that song, Kerry King. Kerry
Oh, there you
King played
go.
guitar on "Fight for Your Right to Party." So,
All right.
but
Well, that's
anyway, yeah, the whole list is I don't know, more. I don't know. I don't even know what word to use. I almost want to say woke, but it's not even woke. It's just, but it does seem like these lists change since 2020. Rolling Stone always put out these lists, and like I said, Sergeant Pepper or Bob Dylan or somebody will always be on the top. But after that was Marvin Gaye. Let's Get It On was the number one. All of a sudden, that was the number one. It's been around for 50 years. All of a sudden, now it's the greatest album, and now all of a sudden, yeah, Lauryn Hill's the greatest album. So
well, I'll fool you on that list. I'll say that. moving on. Here's a story we find interesting involving Graceland. You know, Elvis's legendary home, Graceland, bought for what 102,000, I think, back in '59, and he's owned it ever since. His family, his heirs have, and obviously Lisa Marie owned it once Elvis died, being his only daughter, his only child, and she apparently took out a loan, a $3.8 million loan, and used the Graceland estate as collateral. Now, the company that took, she took the loan out on, they tried to claim the Graceland. They tried to foreclose on Graceland,
Right?
and it turned out that this seems to be pretty much a fake company, Nasani Investments, and
Yeah.
Riley
Keel.
Keel, she the granddaughter, she owns it now, and she says it's all fake. And she says Lisa Marie Presley never borrowed money from this company and never gave a deed of trust to this company. These documents are fraudulent. Furthermore, she argues the company never recorded the purported deed of trust in the Shelby County Register's office. She also then said the notary mentioned in the deed never met Lisa Marie Presley nor notarized any documents for her. So holy cow, somebody tried to pull an obvious fact of all the things to try and
Right?
scam somebody out of.
I know.
Is Graceland? Are
That's
you
pretty
kidding?
ballsy, man. Pretty ballsy. Yeah, so yeah, this outfit and also the investments. They don't go into exactly how it came up that she signed it, of course, but yeah, it was not her signature. It's not Lisa Marie's signature, and Riley,
Oh,
calls him out right on it. So yeah, this was scheduled to go to court on Thursday, this past Thursday, and but before that, Riley Keel is going to have a hearing. And in that hearing, the result of that, she filed a lawsuit against this investment company. And guess what? They dropped it. They dropped it all now
okay.
magically.
Now who's going to jail? That's the question.
Exactly.
Who's going to jail? Because yeah. Oh boy, wow.
I
Yeah,
guess and the thought was, we talked about it. You mentioned that, I doubt that she's ever, had to borrow money on, but I guess she has. She has had to borrow money on Graceland before, but I don't know if she has any outstanding.
standing
And
right now, Graceland is worth between 400 and $500 million.
oh my gosh,
I looked it up. So no, that I don't know. I'd love to know the
yeah,
backstory
I
on
can't
this.
think it's been
She got
recent that she's
scammed.
borrowed anything. Yeah.
Yeah, who was scamming who? So it's really pretty amazing.
Yeah, you
So
hear these stories of people, that file papers or whatever, and all of a sudden now they own your house or whatever, and you're like, how does this happen? And man, let's go after Graceland. These people are ballsy as they come, man. But
about it. Yeah, so hang on there. Give me a minute. And hallelujah for Graceland staying in the Presley family. Obviously, it has to, for crying out loud. And it's such a benefit financially to the area. With tourists, they have, I think, like 600,000 people coming to Graceland every year. So there you go. And
yeah, oh
also,
yeah, I've been there. It's
oh, all
they
right.
move you through like cattle, man. I mean, it's like I said, it's just people constantly going through, man. But yeah, it's a real cool
Outstanding.
experience, seeing everything. And the thing is, it's not that big of a house compared to today's standards, you
Yeah.
look at, well, he bought it in late 50s, 57, 59, whatever it was. So, you think, this is going to be this big, huge mansion, but it's kind of modest by today's standards. But, and then he's got the airplane out back and it's
That's
great and
right.
all
The
that kind
Lisa
of stuff. So
Marie.
that's
That's
right.
right. I'll be damned. Oh, yeah. And also recently, yeah, found out that Elvis Presley's Bible that was found on the nightstand after he died is up for auction. How about that? A personalized Bible found on Elvis Presley's nightstand after he died is among the items available from Cruise GWS auctions. How about that? And Presley's cousin Patsy confirms that's where it was because she helped Vernon clean up the room, I guess.
Right.
And it was one of three Bibles he had. It says here that this Holy Bible was one of three that Elvis had on his nightstand. After packing them, Uncle Vernon had me take them to home for safekeeping and eventually gave them to me. So she's putting it up for, it's embossed with Elvin Aaron Presley on the inside cover. So it's, it's really is his. And what do you think that's going to go for? Wow.
I don't know, but why does he got three Bibles? I mean, I get he was a super religious guy, and found great comfort in singing gospel
Oh,
songs
yeah,
and
did very
and
good. Huh?
reading from the Bible and all that. But why three Bibles? That's different versions, maybe. I don't know. They have the King James, and then I don't know what other versions they got, but whatever. But yeah, also among other items, some sunglasses. I hope they're like
Ooh.
the real cool ones, like the
Oh,
ones
yeah,
they
the
all take
big,
up.
huge
Yeah,
ones.
yeah, you got the sunglasses, signed chair,
Oh,
some jewelry. I hope it's like a TCB necklace. Remember, I like the lightning bolt with TC taking care of business, baby.
hot damn, baby. Yeah.
You got the TCB necklace, and then also an army uniform. That'd be kind of
Wow.
cool.
Oh, that'll go.
Yeah,
That'll be
yeah,
out
that'd be kind
there.
of cool.
Holy cow.
So
Wow. Yeah, still making the money. Like I say, his
I
estate.
it
It's
just
almost
seems like he's been dead for 47 years now, coming up on, and it just seems like odd timing to all of a sudden come out with auction this stuff off. But
yeah.
I'm sure there's a story behind there somewhere. But
Oh yeah. Yeah, that Bible, that should be really really expensive. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, good old Elvis, man. God damn. And also, Doc, the Lollapalooza schedule has been announced. There it is, Lollapalooza, and I showed no interest whatsoever. What do you think?
yeah, it's kind of one of those big granddaddy of festivals kind of thing, come around every year. And it used to be a traveling thing, or they had several of them, but now it's just the one in Chicago or Grant Park. And it's a big deal here in Chicago, and they talk about it every year when it comes out. But yeah, among the headliners and stuff, you got Hosier. Yeah, I get that song back about 10 years ago, "Take Me to Church." That was pretty cool. But as a headliner, I don't know. The Killers are one of the headliners. That would be the only band I'd be apt to
Saturday
want to
night,
see it
yeah.
all. Yeah, and then Blink 182, which I can't stand. I could have saw Blink One. I was at Riot Fest. They were a headliner. I was there. I was there. I had to pay my ticket. They were playing. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna bow out early, man. I have no desire to see Blink 182. But
Ah,
yeah, it just seems that even kind of some of the folks that would kind of be into this, they it seems to be a pretty weak lineup, most accounts, I think. So, yeah, I don't know. They signed a new lease with Chicago last year, or year before last, or something for a few years. So they're going to be around for a while. But their lineup seem to be weakening, I suppose. But
yeah,
I'm sure they'll have a great turnout nonetheless. They'll be packed anyway. But
yeah, here we go though. This is something, brother. We can talk. I think we discussed this a little bit. How the UK festivals are having a real problem, and boy, just this summer, 40 festivals have been canceled over there at the UK, and they've had 170 disappear in 5 years. We talked a little bit about this, but this is really really something. Apparently, that they're trying to get a movement for them to uh, uh, lower the taxes, I believe, on tickets
yeah, having a tax
or
holiday on tickets, yeah.
yeah, but boy, oh boy, that is a real big problem because and it's all seems to be the same thing. It seems to be not logistics anymore, really, but just inflation. It just they can't make any money. You're not going to do something like this if you're not going to make money, and they're just not making any money. And that's pretty much all of them. Yeah, yeah. External issues and rising costs.
Yeah.
Wow. In the 5 years alone, the past 5 years, 172 festivals in the UK, 96 lost to COVID, 36 lost through 2023, and now 40 this year. So, and this brings to mind all those bands that have decided that they're not going to play at a live at a festival over there in England because of the bank, the
Right.
Barclays. So not only are they losing out on that festival money, but now pretty much all the festivals that they would be playing at are going under anyway. So
They're
they're
drying
biting
up
off their
very
nose to
quickly.
spite
Yeah,
their face. You
yeah.
know, what a bunch of
Yeah,
dopes.
like you said, they've lost 40 already this year. He says if the government doesn't step in and give them a tax break on some of this stuff or something, that there's going to be 100. There's going to be 100 just this year. So, yeah, that's what they're asking for, bring the tax from 20% to 5%, which,
Wow, 20%. Jeez.
seems, I
And
know.
the UK hasn't had a single steady festival season since the pandemic to help it recover, meaning festivals are under more financial strain than ever. So, and then they've got all these 100 plus bands or whatever. We're not gonna play. Yeah, well, Barclays is the kind of people that are making it to where
Possible.
you can
Yeah,
play, making it possible for you to play. So, like I say, they're cutting off their nose to spite their face, and they're just big fat dopes as far as I'm concerned, man. Wow, 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 just crazy. Oh, here we go, Doc. This really frosts my ass too. There he is. There's Robbie Robertson and the wife, if you will. We'll call her the wife. Wow. We talked about this last show, didn't we? Somebody else.
yeah. Steve Marriott had a very similar situation, and now this 2 weeks in a row where it's come up. And, Robbie Robertson's widow is having some unscrupulous
Yeah,
issues that the kids are looking into.
Robbie Robertson, legendary guitarist for the band. Total freaking legend. Got 3 kids, and they're suing the woman that he married like 6 months before he died. They're claiming that she took advantage of him and convinced him to sign legal documents that would favor her over the kids. And this is a real mess, man. So what they do is they go out, Robbie and the wife, they go out and buy a $6 million mansion. And then they decide, each one's going to have a 50% stake. And then Robbie goes even further, saying that if one of the persons dies, his estate has to keep up the payments on everything. And his wife claims that she's going to be allowed to live there for the rest of her life and have his kids who didn't get he didn't have a big estate. Surprisingly, the $6 million house, but they didn't get an awful lot. Now they're going to be expected to pay for mortgage, property taxes, insurance, half the daily property maintenance expenses for the duration of her life. Boy, oh boy, that's just rotten to the core, Doc. Rotten to the core. And they claim that he had a prostate surgery in 2022, and that he
Right.
was prescribed opiates and all sorts of THC and antipsychotics to combat the pain. And they say that's when she got him to sign all this crap over
Yep.
when he was out of his freaking mind. So here we go again. Boy, 6 months she's married to him, and wow,
Yeah, not even. Yeah,
that
less
is
than 6 months.
that is such a unbelievably horrible person.
So
She's
she's a restaurateur, so she's got some money of her own. Her name's
wow,
Janet Zuccarini, and yeah, married less than 6 months before his death, and this is after the surgery. So things were everybody it's kind of obvious where things were headed,
right.
and so they buy this house together. And she's that is one sided as hell, man. There's no way if it had been the other way around, that her estate would be paying Robbie Robertson, or of course, both of them would be gone at this
Yeah.
point if that were the
Oh
case. But if it were the other way around, though, there's no way. So
no.
yeah, totally premeditated, total gold digger move. And
Well, and
the
it's
kids, yeah, the
how
kids didn't get a whole big inheritance. They can't afford this, and
yeah, yeah, a
so
six
you know
million
what? You
dollar
got a six
house
million dollar house.
on a mortgage, and
Yeah,
sure.
might want to sell that and you get something a little more modest that you can afford. And like I
Well,
said, if she can afford half of it, 3 million, she's not doing too bad. But
and a decent person wouldn't even be putting them through this. A good person would be, she would
but
understand.
she's just following through on the plan. I mean, I'm sure this is all premeditated, and
But
this is the
like
plan.
well,
And she's just
again, yeah, an evil person making
and
an
she knew
evil
it'd be
plan.
yeah
Wow, that is so rotten to the core. God, you are a horrible lady, man. Oh man, that's really those poor kids. Really sell the house, leave the gosh, people. I hate people more and more, Doc.
Yeah, we talked
People.
about yeah, I know. But we talked about last week. Steve Marriott. The case was the widow, another Black widow, rock and roll Black widow. They
Yeah,
were married. Well, they were married longer than 6 months. It was like a 2 year marriage, but it was
2 year.
right at the end because he had a surprise death. He died in a house fire, so it's a little different situation. But
Yeah,
nonetheless, now she's because there was no will. It was a surprise death. She has the rights to the music, and now she's wanting to sell it to AI and have AI do songs in Steve Marriott's voice
man.
and that sort of thing.
So are these
So now we're
people.
hearing about these widows just kind of trying to cash in, man.
Cash in, yeah, 6 months. That's just terrible. Living with her for 6 months and thinks she expects
Right?
everything. So shame on that. Here's a interesting thing. I'm not really surprised about this one, quite honestly. Where is he? There's a monster right there. Alex Van Halen. Headline: Alex Van Halen's personal collection of instruments and gear to be auctioned off next month. Yeah, how about that? Well, I can't say that I'm surprised. We've sort of, we figured through the few years we've been talking about him that he's done.
Yep.
Once Eddie passed, it was like half of him, he lost half of his musical being, basically. I'm sure, and I can totally understand, you know, he's played with this guy his whole life since,
Yeah,
and
literally.
and
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and now he's gone, and really, I can't blame him for not having any interest in continuing on, and that's his prerogative. And the fact that now Backstage Auctions Inc. they've announced the Alex Van Halen collection. Yeah, their most anticipated of historic auction event of the year, featuring a collection of legendary Alex Van Halen. Wow, that's going to be crazy. And a couple of legendary drum sets in there. The collection features over 350 lots. So there's going to be a lot of stuff: memorabilia, drum kits, snare drums, kicks, road cases, drum heads, cymbals, gongs, sticks and mallets, personal items, record awards, autograph pieces, and a lot more. Boy, oh boy, this is going to be a doozy for the drummer in your family. I'll tell you what, man, oh man. Now, Alex says, I have always pursued the best possible sound, which just like Eddie. Eddie was the pursuit of sound for Eddie was nonstop. He was always
Right.
tweaking his guitar or his amps or stuff. He says, I've always pursued the best possible sound, which drove me to every single day, every single album, and every single tour to be on top of my game. I hope this that passing on all these pieces will inspire current and next generations to be the best they can be. Now let's have some fun Van Halen stuff. Wow, wow, wow. And that includes the 5150 tour kit. The tour kits are the best because they've got the deep drums or the four bass drums or just, his kits were just over the top, his kids were over the top. So, wow, baby. I imagine that's going to bring some really righteous bucks, even though he doesn't need it. What do you think about that one there, Doc?
Yeah,
Eh?
no, he seems pretty happy to be selling it all and just kind of, let somebody else have it and enjoy it and stuff. So, yeah, I don't know if he's keeping anything. It doesn't sound like it. Sound like everything's up for auction. And yeah, a portion of the proceeds go to a charity that he and his wife are involved in called Right On Therapeutic Horsemanship, where they
Ah,
kind of get disabled folks and people going through rehab up on
on
horses and
horses.
kind of helping them along. So,
That's excellent. Good for
so
him. Good
yeah,
for
the
him.
auction itself will be going from June 1st to June 8th. So you got a week of it coming up here pretty quickly. So
Wow. How about that? Good for him. It's good to see it going for a good purpose, a good charity. My gosh. These rich guys, yeah, it's important that they help the charities as much as they can, since the country's been so good to them. So good for him. And yeah, I can't blame him for bowing out. He- with Eddie gone, yeah, like losing losing his hi-hat hand. I mean,
uh,
with his brother gone. So good for him. You
Yeah,
know,
we've talked about it since then, and every time a reunion or some kind of a tribute comes up, Alex just not interested. Just not. He's kind of been a hermit, man. He's kind of been a
yeah,
recluse,
he really has
and
been. Yeah,
but this statement seems very upbeat and seems like he's like, hey, yeah, let's have a good time and sell this stuff.
good
So
for
yeah,
him. Yeah, he may
yeah,
keep a drum kit. He got some kids, so who knows?
yeah, you
Maybe they'll.
gotta keep something around, yeah.
But yeah, he's selling his legendary road kits, and yeah, he ain't playing out anymore. Doesn't need them. They're just taking up space. So
I wonder what
yeah.
like the snare on the first album what that would go for or something, just something like that,
Oh,
you know, just to
oh,
have a piece of something like that, man.
that
You
first
know,
album is just so stunning.
it
It
might
just
that might be fairly reasonable, man. A few $100, maybe $1,000. I don't know, but yeah, just to have something like that, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, how about them Van Halens, man? They set the standard. They really did. I look at Eddie as Hendrix the second. Hendrix with his first album. I mean, it'll still blow you away if you listen to Are You Experienced, the whole album. It'll still knock your socks off when you realize it was done in '67. And then everything's going on, and then Eddie comes around and just totally changes the guitar again. So them two cats really, they're jamming in heaven, man. But
Yeah,
that's
indeed.
all I got to say about that. Oh yeah, moving on. We've also got another auction in the news, and that would be none other than the legendary Randy Bachman from Bachman Turner Overdrive and the Guess Who. Yeah. His music meant a lot to me. My whole freaking life, man. Growing up. Guess Who? Jeez, they were great all over the AM radio, and later on Bachman Turner, but Guess Who especially. But yeah, he's selling off like I think it's 130 plus guitars in his collection. Which wow, 130 130 plus guitars is pretty crazy. But I looked at some of them. It's very cool. The top of the heap, of course, he's got a '59 Gibson Les Paul Standard, '59, the gold standard, and it's even got a Bigsby on it. Right now, got three bids. That's up to 200 grand, which is nice. He's got some nice guitars on here. For instance, stage and studio played 55 Stratocaster, 25 grand. All sorts of good stuff. Another '59 Strat, 15 grand. Oh, just great guitars. And there's a lot of them that are way under $1,000. Most of them are under $1,000. That's what's so cool. '69 Gibson Les Paul Custom, 10,000. Just great guitars, and he has a couple of Brian May specials. He's got a Brian May red, like Brian May's guitar,
Right?
but then he's got a black one that's signed by Brian May, which
Oh
is about
wow.
as cool as it gets. And I think that's up to the 2,500. Yeah, here it is, $2,500. A Brian May Guitars Special LE, actually signed for 2,500 bucks. So there, and the thing is, on his auction, his ukulele's going for 150 bucks. So if you got a grand or so, or five, six, 700 bucks, you could actually buy a guitar from Randy Bachman, because a lot of these guitars are off brand. I don't know, off brand. I guess you would say unique, really unique guitars. He's got a couple of Bigsby guitars, and any guitar player knows, if you know your guitars, that's pretty cool to have a couple of Bigsbys. So yeah, how about that, Randy Bachman? Man, just loved his music. And boy, he's in with Burton Cummings, isn't he? It was him and Burton that shut down the
Yeah,
Guess Who.
mostly Burton, but yeah, he
He was
definitely
in there
was
too.
supporting him too. Yeah, maybe people don't know here recently, what 2 months ago, maybe
Yeah,
not
yeah.
even. Burton Cummings. There's a band out there playing as the Guess Who, and Burton Cummings put a suit where they couldn't play their songs. They couldn't play the Guess Who song. They could still bill themselves as a Guess Who because he didn't own the name. But he says,
Hmm.
I own the songs and you can't play them. So you can go out there and be the Guess Who and play other songs, but you're not playing Guess Who songs.
Not playing
But
my songs.
yeah,
Nope.
So anyway, it's another situation too where he just lost brothers. Where just
Yes,
they
two of
got a
them,
couple of the but yeah just last year Tim and Robbie Bachman both passed just last year.
right?
So it was another situation where it's like all right,
But
that
I'm
part of
telling
my
you,
life's
folks,
done, and let's sell all this stuff off, and
any guitar player out there, definitely though, look up the Randy Bachman auction. It goes this weekend, I believe. It's
it's got about two more days.
the next few days. And
Yeah,
like
yeah, just a couple of
here's
days.
one of the guitars, a current bid $200, another $500, 700, 500, 500. There's a ton, 200. There's a ton of really reasonably priced guitars, good pictures of every one of them. 500, 800, 800, 250. I mean, it's an amazing collection of odd guitars for the most part. A Willie Wolfram. Never heard of Willie Wolfram. There's an archtop guitar, $600. A Hemosh archtop guitar. Never heard of them. $250. And then a
Some
Hawk
luthier somewhere up,
up in
tucked
Utah,
away
Canada. Yeah, hey
somewhere. Who
there.
knows? Yeah.
Yeah, hey there, using up some of that there hardwood up in the upper areas there. Yeah,
Up
hey.
in the Yukon, yeah.
Yeah, a Fender Deluxe, a lap steel, $800. It's really a cool thing he's got going on there. So, you know, boy, that 59 Les Paul. Ooh, that is that's the one they talk about in Spinal Tap. You can hear the sustain. Listen, but it's not plugged in. Yes, but if it was plugged in, you'd hear the sustain. It's like that. It's a pièce de resistance, if you will. Yeah, yeah. So that's pretty wild. That's something very cool. So you know, good deal for Randy Bachman to give other people a chance to own some of these very, very cool guitars. So yeah, yeah. And here speaking of cool, here's the opposite of cool. It's Disturbed. Uh we mock, ladies and gentlemen, we saw Disturbed, and yeah, we sort of mock a little bit because their show sort of went off the rails a little bit. We haven't forgiven them since. But apparently the YouTube viewers have forgiven him because the Disturbed version of Simon and Garfunkel's "The Sound of Silence" hit 1 billion YouTube views. Wow, I'm surprised. Who cares? I don't know. I've never seen the video. It must be magnificent or something. I don't know. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it.
No.
A lot of times when this stuff comes up too, I'll check them out just out of curiosity. But for whatever reason, this one didn't pique my curiosity. Man, I don't know.
Wow.
But yeah, they're in the 1 billion club now. And whenever we talk about this, they always say approaching 500.
Yeah,
How many how
right.
many how many how many videos are in this club? And it always says approaching 500. Well, this is number 498. So we really are
Oh,
truly approaching 500. So this is
wow.
498. And this was their biggest chart hit. This is their what they're most known for, and I'm sure they won't get another one in the billion club. So enjoy it while you can, Dave and the boys.
Yeah, man. Oh boy. Yeah, we won't be seeing him this year. But that's all right. We'll get over that.
Although
Yeah.
one thing from the show, other than mocking them, their pyro was something to
Excellent.
behold. It
That
was
was really excellent.
there were reports of on that tour other places setting off the sprinkler system, and we were hoping we would witness that, but
And we
we, we,
understood why after
we
seeing
understood why, but yeah,
it.
we didn't get the sprinklers set off. But
That
yeah,
was
pretty cool.
gnarly. Yeah. Here we go. I hate this part of the show, but we got to do it. Well, we have some RIPs this week, which is depressing. First up, Doug Engel. Doug Engel. Everybody would know him as the voice, the original Iron Butterfly. He's the one who sang Inagata Davida. And in my heart I see a mirage on the wall. He had the greatest, coolest little vocal thing going on. But yeah, he's passed away. The last surviving member of the original Iron
Yeah,
Butterfly, man.
yeah.
There they go. God, that album was so stunning, so groundbreaking. They had Inagata Davida, the single, which was right up there, fit into the 3.5 minute format of AM radio, and then boy, you just blow your mind on the full version. And of course, Doug
It was the
Ingles.
whole album side.
Yes, it's the whole album side. And you had to know this by listening to it. I didn't know it until now, but I had to figure that he spent a lot of time in church or something with the way, because I spent a lot of time in church. And with the way he played the organ, sure enough, his dad was an organist at a church. There you go. That's why he got all that cool. That was the coolest organ solo. It was like reverent almost. It was so cool, and you could tell and it had to be inspired by religious music. And sure enough, boy, that album really it blew our minds, Doc. And he quit him, I think, in '71. So he wasn't with Iron
Okay.
Butterfly long after the album came out. But wow, man, great deal. What do you think about him, eh?
Yeah, he was kind of the main guy. He was like I said, he was the lead vocalist, organist. He was the main composer. So yeah, rest in peace, Doug Engel.
Yeah, freaking A.
78 years old. 78.
That was great. That was really. I met the guitarist, the small club around our area back when they were at the real low point, and he was a good guy. Played some pinball with him, as a matter of
Who's
fact.
that? Lee Dorman.
No, 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 the guitarist. Oh, I can't. Braun, Eric Braun. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. That was crazy, but what a shame. But Doug Engel, he gone, man. And it's happened. We're seeing so many heading out at this point. It's really depressing. And
Yeah, we got a couple from a little younger generation though this week.
here we go. We got who we got here? John uh,
John Wysocki.
Wysocki. I had a teacher named Wysocki when I was young. How about that? He was a Stain drummer. We saw them, didn't we, Doc? Yeah, we saw
Yeah,
Stain.
he left the band God, 2011.
Mm-hmm.
So
He's
he
a
was with
founding
them.
member. Yeah.
Yeah, he was with them in the heyday for all the hits and then all that. But then he left and he was in another project called Lydia's Castle. Not familiar with them, but kind of a different kind of name. But yeah, liver issues. So you can only kind
Liver.
of sum up how that
Alcohol?
come about. Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, that's
Probably
usually what you
alcohol.
think. But I mean, unless he has
Yeah,
some genetics issue, I mean,
could be, but yeah,
it's
yeah.
other than alcohol. Remember the great Walter Payton died of liver issues. He definitely
Yeah,
wasn't an
and he
alcoholic.
was
So
he was a peak physical specimen. So yeah, doggone it, what a shame. Yeah, he had to retire, to be under the care of medical professionals. And 802 on May 18th, he passed away. So rest in
53,
peace,
53
dude.
years old.
53. Jeez, here's a bizarre one. Jiminy Creepers. Where is it? Yeah, it's like him right there. Yeah, Charlie Cohen. Charlie Cohen. Holy cow! Founding member of the group Train. This is very odd. He died at the age of 58, and he died. He was a house sitting for one of his friends, and he was obviously taking a shower, and he slipped in the shower and killed himself. Jiminy creepers! The real hard. The circumstances are sort of scarce, but he found dead in the shower, and you got to have them little sticky stars on the bottom of your.
Yeah, they got little footprints, little textured footprints there or something. Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, I've slipped the shower. It scares the hell out of you, man, for a second, man. No doubt. I'm sure everybody's kind of done it, but yeah, he was 58 years old, and like I said, he was house sitting over in Brussels, over in
Ah,
Belgium. I can't imagine what it's like over there, but yeah, slipped and fell. He left the band in '03. So he's kind of in the middle. They kind of had a few hits after he left, but for the most part, he was there for the most of the time. And he left because of substance abuse. Kind of one of those situations. So
boy,
uh,
that shit
slipped
happens,
in the
man.
shower, man. Of all the ways to go, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Just out of the blue. I say as out of the blue as it comes, man.
I don't have
Just
any sticky things on the floor of mine. I really should have, so I better
let
get
this
with
be a
that.
reminder to all of us geezers.
All those geezers, damn it.
Yeah,
I don't have one of those walk-in shower things. I still got
yeah,
the
right.
old-fashioned kind. So, oh, well, rest in peace, Charlie. Jiminy Creepers. That's sad. This is a sad way to go. Good grief. Good grief almighty. Ugh, man, oh man. What do we got going? Oh, this is an interesting story. A metal charity uh, well, I don't know if they'd say they hooked up with Lamb of God, but there's a metal charity out there that uh let me see, Lamb of God, the fans raised $20,000 for a fellow fan battling cancer, and Randy Blythe, the lead singer, he shared a heartfelt message about a fan he recently met through the Living the Dream Foundation. There we go. The organization that helps fans with life-threatening illnesses meet their favorite bands. And obviously that was his favorite band. So Lamb of God. So they got together, and after hearing that, Randy shared his situation, and the Lamb of God fans raised 20,000 so far. This is, probably a week old now, so I imagine it's probably even done better than that. But here again, here's a rock guy, doing something good. Hallelujah,
Yeah.
because there's been so many that just don't. They're just, worst to the worst. But here's a guy, and well, in this picture I got of him there, yeah, he looks pretty normal there, but when he's on the stage, man, he's brutal. He's really something. He looks the part too. But metal fans are some of the best fans, Doc. They really are.
Yeah, that's what I'll say. Yeah, it's good for him to bring it up, given that he's got a platform to do so. But more kudos to the fans for digging. And I mean, metal fans typically aren't the wealthy. I mean, they're the
Right.
working class kind of guys. So kudos to them. But yeah, he met this fan, Louis Fortinelli, and turns out he had stage 4 cancer.
Oh, jeez.
Had his they had this meeting set up, and he's like, this is he's all hyped about it and everything. And then it turned out that he had to get his leg amputated 2 weeks before the meeting, and he still made the meeting, man. And
Oh,
so it turns out that they gave him less than a year, and after that, be able to, or after the amputation, now he's eligible for some new treatment, some experimental treatment that's more optimistic, and hopefully more than a year. And
good, good,
yeah,
good, good.
Randy Black kind of shared his story, and fans are kind of, they put up a GoFundMe, and they're
Put your
giving,
arms
man.
around him, folks. Put your arms around him. Gosh, you know, yeah. A lot of
Never for the
people
grace of
going through an
God go
awful
I,
lot.
man.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. I, I don't, yeah, my story, but I don't consider, I'm glad to be here, but I worry more about people like this. Uh, yeah, so the trials and tribulations, losing a limb, stage 4, that's a serious thing. So I hope
Oh
this new
yeah.
treatment, I hope this new treatment really kicks some ass, really. Gosh almighty, yeah. I see so many in the morning. I see so many advertisements on the TV for medicines for the weirdest little quirky things, and it's like, why don't you get the big one? Why don't you get the big C? Cure that sucker, Jeez, come on, people.
Yeah, you
You
see a
know,
lot of HIV medications. Like, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
what
And
percentage of the, so the money has got to be phenomenal. I mean, they're marketing to, a tenth of a percent of the population. So yeah, the markup has got to be unbelievable. But anyway, that's
how
a whole
about
nother
it?
talk show, as they say.
Whole nother talk. Yeah. Oh, here's an interesting thing. We talked about this a bit through various shows. Getty and Alex getting together, and they got together, but not as Rush. They just got together for a tribute concert for my favorite karaoke subject, and that's Gordon Lightfoot. Me and him got the same week. We're on, man. His songs fit right into my category of singing. So Gordon Lightfoot, yeah, yeah. They had the Gordon Lightfoot tribute concert May 23rd in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. The longtime bandmates and best friends joined Blue Rodeo at Massey Hall to perform the Lightfoot original "The Way I Feel." And I'm not surprised. You know, Gordon Lightfoot, one of the best things to come out of Canada, besides Brian Adams. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
No, that's what they were saying. Growing up, he was like a Canadian musical hero, man. He was, you think about it, yeah, it totally adds up. So, yeah, they paid their respects and went out there and did a song on the tribute concert. So they had a few other Canadian folks. The only one really of note that I remember is Tom Cochran. Remember him from Red
Oh
Rider? They had
yeah,
his song
sure.
"Life Is a Highway." That guy. So he was part of the
Lunatic Fringe.
celebration.
Wasn't he the Lunatic Fringe guy?
Yeah. Red Rider
That's
was
a
did a song.
great
Yeah. That's a
song.
pretty cool song.
Yeah.
So yeah, get in, Alex. We always like to see when they're playing again, and it always starts to get the rumors
Rumor
circulating. But
mill. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I still don't think so. I still just
No,
don't think it's gonna happen, man.
I think you are correct on
Something's gonna
Tim.
happen. These guys can't say something's gonna happen, but I don't think it's gonna be a rush tour.
No,
So
no. I think that's over with. But hey, good for them.
unfortunately, I hope I'm wrong. I certainly do.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Here's an interesting story. Let's finish off with this sucker. Where is he? There he is. There's the bear right there. He looks ticked off. Yeah, great story. Uh, so there's a bear in a tree. Let's start with okay. According to Fox Weather, rangers from Colorado Park and Wildlife Northeast region attempted to use a classic Black Sabbath song to coax a black bear out of a neighborhood tree in Golden, Colorado. That's just great. It happened on May 14th, near the Colorado School of Mines campus. So it was right near a school there. I imagine that's a school. And officials say the bear was reluctant to leave the neighborhood after finding food by getting in the trash left out from the night
Yeah, there
before.
you go,
There you
man.
go,
See,
you
yeah,
sloppy people. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, when you're out on a bear stakeout, you think it's going to be all action. Colorado's Park and Wildlife North region says you never think you're going to spend at least 6 hours in a car waiting on a bear to stop sleeping and climb down from a tree. And yet, and of course, the bear eventually came down, and Colorado Parks and Wildlife Northeast region successfully scared it into the right direction towards wilder spaces. But then it went up another tree. Why, bear? Why? The ranger quipped. Holy cow, this is horrifying. So at that point, the Northeast region decides to utilize technology with the assistance of the Golden Police Department by deploying a drone and blasting Iron Man from a loudspeaker. I don't know. Would the bear be scared? I would think it'd start fucking nodding its head.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I
my.
guess at first they tried the drone, and he just, he didn't give a shit, just swatting at the drone,
He was
whatever, he didn't
slightly
care.
annoyed,
Yeah,
slightly
yeah,
annoyed at the
yeah,
drone.
yeah. So then they started blasting some Iron Man, and Bear
Boy, and
didn't
that,
care. Bear probably enjoyed it, man. Yeah.
listen to this now. Now, no, if he starts banging his head, we got a problem. That's a quote.
Right.
Somebody could be heard saying in a video clip. So yeah, if he starts banging his head, which I
What would be
expect he
the?
will.
I guess you couldn't throw up the horns, but what would be the Paul version of that? I don't know, but throw up the horns, start
Oh
banging his
gosh
head. Yeah.
almighty. Oh, so boy. Yeah, and the bear didn't go anywhere, prompting officials to write, we know based on past behavior that it probably not moving until dark. We wait until nighttime and the bear finally comes down when it almost all humans are gone. So it's a happy ending anyway. These clowns. I don't know what I wouldn't have blasted gosh, what would I have blasted to the bear?
Yeah. What would a
Afternoon
bear
delight? I don't
yeah. What,
know.
what would a bear be offended by? I don't know.
Oh gosh. Oh, I'd have to think on that. That's a ooh, tricky question there, Doc. What would I blast to the bear to get it down? Ah, wow. I don't know. What music so
I
offends
think they
you?
just got so bored. They said, I need to hear some Sabbath, man. They're blast to see if the bear gets out of the tree. And
Well, that was a tactic over in the Middle East for our soldiers when they wanted to get a dictator out or something. They start blasting some heavy metal or
back
something.
in the '80s, they did that with Noriega, Nicaragua,
Oh, well,
and
you weren't there, were
or
you?
no, in Panama rather, and they were blasting. No, I wasn't there. They were blasting Van Halen, Panama, to get them out of there and
Oh
stuff.
my
So
gosh. That's crazy. That is whack jack. But hey, it is what it is. All right. Well, that's a pretty good week of topics there, Doc. Man, that was a doozy. Again, thanks everybody for joining us, man. It's a great journey we're having here. We're having a gas, and I got to go tend to my granddaughter because she had some ants on her. She came in halfway through the show to let me know. So that was always a good time. But we sure do appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for subscribing, for liking, and for viewing. And we'll see you next week. So why don't you take us home there, Doc?
Yes, yes. Another week in the books. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Really appreciate it. Thanks for all the nice comments and subscribes and all that good stuff. So truly appreciate all that. So, like I say, we do this every single week, and next week we'll be here too. Hope you are too. So see you then. Have a great rock and roll filled week, everybody.